Hi guys, it's Chris at Cork and Crown, back at a cider desk, dining room table, whatever, with some more cider to try. And it's a bit of a different film this. I have been doing some more commercial ciders, last couple of films. I'm going to keep on doing that. I think it's interesting. I think it's worthwhile. But I found some cider in my shed today, buried under a shelf, that was past its use by date, sell by date, best before date, whatever you want to call it. We'll talk about those things. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Let's try them, see how they taste, see what age does to a cider. Some things age well over long periods of time, some things less so, things with lots of tannin, so things that maybe like bitter sharps and bitter sweets with lots of tannin in there, they'll age pretty well. And also there's alcohol in these things. So that means they're probably not going to spoil, but things will evolve over time. And after a certain point in time, things will stop evolving and maybe perhaps start diminishing. Not that it'll make you sick, just the quality will drop off a bit. So we've got two ciders, quite different ciders, which is quite good. One from Somerset, one from Kent. So Eastern Counties versus West Country. And the Eastern Counties is Turners, Russet, their big one, they're 8%, but I think at one point Phil Turners told me that we're going up to 9%, so we had to water it back a bit because it was just too strong. And you pay more tax over 8.5%, which you didn't want to pay. So having to water it back. This one's down at 8%, so relatively light compared to some of the things that he's been producing. Then we have this from Secret Orchard. Exmoor Mellow, Joe Healy, Secret Orchard. Beautiful. I mean, you've got to love Joe's labels. They're fantastic. I've got to get more Joe's stuff. Having radio silence from Joe though, don't know why. I've been trying to get in touch. Haven't been able to get through him. If you watch this, Joe, I'd like to buy something off you if possible. Anyway, but let's try these. So I'm going to try neither of these are super sweet. But Joe just go for like a very appley, quaffable sort of drink with a bit more residual sugar. And as far as I'm aware, the russet is pretty much bone dry. So let's go for the russet first. And see what was the date on this? It's on this bottle somewhere, if I can find it. Where is it? It wasn't easy to find, but I did find it. It was on here. I promise you. Where were you? there it is. So this is best before end, August 24. Okay, so this is like 6-7 months past its use by date. Best before end. So best before, not used by, best before. There's a distinction to be made. Used by means do not consume this after this date because it might kill you. Best before means after this date, it might not be quite as good, it won't be as fresh, the quality might have diminished a bit, okay? But you can drink it, it won't do you any harm. So that's something to be aware of. Sometimes it's very, very important to be aware of these things on some things like very hoppy beers, like pale ales, IPAs, things with like really big hop forward aromatic and so forth. Those want to be drunk fresh because hop aromatics diminishes over time. So if you look at a bottle of IPA, pale ale, something like that American style sort of thing, take good notice of the date on it because after that date, the beer maker probably wouldn't want you to drink it because it lost a lot of the hop character, which was important to the style. Anyway, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about cider. And where is the date on this one? I'm sure there's a date on this one somewhere. Hang on. Well, that was a waste of my time. I can't find the date on it. I do know that it's past its best before though, for sure, because of where I located it. It was located in my market gear, which I haven't used for 2-3 years. So yeah, this is definitely past the date by which Joe would have recommended drinking it. I know for sure. I'll keep looking for the date. I could have sworn I'd seen it on there. Whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's start with the Turners. Look at that. I think he was a copywriter or something like that, a proofreader. And you can tell from this sort of very, very, very obvious label, which I really like. I mean, you couldn't get two more different labels, could you? Totally different, but both charming in their own way. Right, here we go. And I do like the way it gets a light sparkle to his ciders, Phil. They're really good for that. Almost like a ice cream soda sort of thing you get from it. So let's pour it out. So this is forced carbonated, but not too forced carbonated. There's the colour. Let me get it was a substitute thingamajig. It turned into a permanent thingamajig. There's my impermanent thingamajig. So there you go, pale gold, nice looking thing. So East Coast, so russet, so eaters, not cider apples. He's using eating apples, which is the tradition on the East Coast. I mean, you can get, you know, people making stuff with cider apples on the East Coast. There's Crohn's, there's Windhill, there's lots of people. However, Jack Toy in Norfolk. But typically, eaters and cookers, because that's what they were growing for the London market, the big market, Colchester and places like that. And, you know, they wanted to make cider, so they used what they were growing, which were cookers and eaters. It smells like a nice, it just smells great. I mean, this is old. You cannot tell this is old up from the nose. It smells great. It's got that russet character, super appley, with that kind of russet skin-like element comes through. I really like it. Venus, much more wine-like, like an unoaked Chardonnay kind of thing. That's the kind of thing it makes me think of. These are pretty cold, but they have come straight out of the shed, but it's been really cold this last day, so it's probably colder than I would have liked. Yeah, total Venus quality, maybe like a Sauvignon Blanc almost character to them as well. You know, like nettly, grassy, I won't say cat piss, which is another common flavour descriptor for Sauvignon Blanc, but yeah, if I sniff this blind, I'm thinking white wine. Let's try it. Yeah, it's still fine, but it is 8%, and 8% is big. That's going to preserve things. Maybe it's lost a little bit of crispness and bite, perhaps, but it's got it. And on the palate, that almost Venus quality, white wine quality, totally comes through. It totally comes through. 8%. I mean, you can get sort of Rieslings from Germany, which are knocking around about 8%. It's getting into wine territory. And on the palate, totally. And the fact that it's not too overcarbonated, it's brilliant. It doesn't mask flavour. It's got a lovely prickle, quite a light sort of prickle. So it's not the bubbles won't feel too aggressive. So this should have been drunk, technically, before the end of last August. It might have lost some character, but I have to say, not a lot. It's rounded, it's crisp, it's clean, it's got character. Dangerous at 8%, because it doesn't feel like it's 8%. Although I am getting some warmth now down here. So this is a cider, quite a beefy cider, which has not really been affected very much at all by the fact that it's 6, 7, 8 months past its best before, you know, used by end of. So unfortunately, I've only got one glass, so I'm going to have to neck this 8% cider now to get into this one. With my neck. Glad it's not too fizzy. Okay. Let's try the next one. Now Joe has a totally different style of cider making. He's using basically pretty much all traditional cider apples. I don't know what the blend is in this. Let's read what it says in the label. This is only 5.5, which is great strength. Hidden away in deepest, darkest Exmoor, behind the ancient walls of Nettlecombe Estate, lies the secret orchard. Here, remarkable small batch ciders are produced using low intervention methods, handcrafted from 100% pressed juice, using wild yeasts and no sulfites. These award-winning ciders are the pride and joy of the two friends who create them. Not all cider is created equal. 2017 vintage. Now, I don't think it is. I think he just hadn't got new labels printed. I don't think that is, because I think I had this conversation with him. Exmoor Mellow is a smooth, easy drinking cider with delicious spicy notes blended from high quality varieties including Harry Masters Jersey and Kingston Black. So this is wild yeast, non-intervention. People think about these sorts of ciders as being like a bit crazy and funky and farmy, and Joe's ciders are nothing like that. He wants to make things which are totally drinkable, and they're just totally drinkable. They're just packed full of fruit. I do like his ciders a lot. And this, possibly my favourite, but every vintage is different, you know, because he's hand pressing a vintage. So that's what you expect. So let's try it. A little bit of a hiss, not too much, which is good, what we expect. The colour of this, I haven't seen it for a while. I'm going to guess it's going to be a lot richer and darker than the russet. Not too much. So it's got some sparkle about it. I wasn't sure if it maybe lose a bit of carnation. Yeah, I mean, look at that amber, very hazy amber. So totally different beast in terms of colour to this guy. When you can see just through the bottle there, look at the difference. So these are going to sit a while and oxidise prior to pressing, after scratching, so they get a bit of colour, oxidation colour, you know, brings colour to the cider, which I like. I do like that. I love an amber cider. I do like that deep amber you get in some traditional ciders. Sorry, I've got a bit of gas from necking that fizzy stuff. Right, let's smell it. Right, the first thing I get is apple pie filling. That's the first thing. I mean, it's also sort of the second thing I get. I'm also getting a bit of orange. Apple pie filling and orange, which is exactly the sort of aromatics I expect to get off a Joe Healy cider. I'm sticking with those. Apple pie filling and orange. Because apple pie filling isn't just apple pie filling, is it? You've got sort of brown sugar and vanilla and loads of other things going on. It's not just baked apple, stewed apple. It's those other elements, you know. And it has those elements. I mean, this is like... If this is past its best, it still smells better than 99% of ciders. It really does. It smells brilliant. Yeah, but let's try it. It smells great. Yeah, so this is medium, but sweetish medium, but I'm pretty sure it's not back sweetened. I think it's just natural sugar from the apple, and you can tell because that apple pie thing is totally hitting my palate. Absolutely is. And a little bit of that like spicy orange character as well. I wonder if there's dabernate in this, because that often brings that oranginess. This may have diminished. Let me just say, it's delicious. It's a delicious apple dessert. Not too sweet though. In a glass. It's possible that this had more intensity when it was younger. But having said that, I haven't got a younger bottle of this, obviously from this vintage, to compare it to, so I can't compare it like for like. But it's great. It tastes very pure, and it is. It's low intervention. It's like no sulfites, wild yeast, all that kind of stuff. But it tastes amazing. Like it doesn't have craziness or funkiness about it. It's just got a deliciousness, a fruitiness about it. Most people would drink that happily. I mean, people go, "Oh, I don't like cider." Give them that. They drink it. It's got the sweetness of a Keeve cider, but it feels more fruit driven. It's got a bit less tannin. I mean, there's hints of tannin in there, but not a lot. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, the thing is, these might have diminished in character and quality. They might have. However, they were so tasty and great to start with. They still taste great now. And I can't remember exactly what they tasted like, however long it is since I first tried them, you know. Taste memory is vague. It's very vague. It's easy to forget. If you want to compare something to something else, you have to do it right there and then. Try that, now try that. Then you get a really clear picture of the flavour profiles of the two things and can compare them. When there's like months or years in between, it's very hard to do that. It's very hard. But having said that, these are both brilliant. It's still brilliant. And it's testament to the fact that they were brilliant to start with. Great ciders from great cider makers. There you go. I hope you found that interesting. I did. So if you didn't, tough luck. But thank you for joining me at this dining room table. I hope you join me again. But until that time, cheers.